Hi, my name's Travis Glenn. We have Andrew, Colton, Dalian, and Stephanie here for our group interview. First, I'm going to be interviewing Andrew. So, all right, Andrew. What is the biggest risk you've ever taken?
I think the biggest risk I've ever taken was switching my major in my junior year of college. I was originally an accounting major, but I switched to marketing in the middle of my junior year, and it was a big risk because I'd already taken a lot of classes, but I knew that it wasn't really what I wanted to do later in life. But I was kind of forced by family, but it was a risk because I knew that they wouldn't be super happy that I was changing, but I knew that it was what I wanted to do. So it was also risky because marketing's less of a sure thing of a job out of college, and it's more what I want to do though out of college, and accounting wasn't for me. So that's about it for that one.
There you go. To this date, what are you most proud of?
I think I'm most proud of how far I've gone through school because most of my family didn't go to college. I was kind of the first one to make it through school, and I'm in my senior year now. So once I finish, I think that will be my most proud moment. And I know my family will be super proud. Graduating school with good grades will be a super big moment in my life. Graduation will be a great time, and hopefully make even more proud moments after school.
Are you on pace to graduate in the next spring?
Yeah,
Perfect.
next spring I'll be graduating, so that'll be a proud moment for me.
Absolutely. Final question. How do you deal with pressure and or stressful situations?
Um, I'm good. I think I'm good in stressful situations because I kind of analyze everything that's going on. I don't jump right into a way that I'm going to do something. I like to step back and kind of review everything, assess my options for everything. And I think I'm also good because I don't get super nervous under pressure. Kind of in a sport term clutch, I would say. When I when I need something done, I think that I can get it done fairly easily, even if there's pressure.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to have Andrew interviewing Colton.
All right. Let me get the quiz. All right. Colton, tell us about a challenge or conflict you faced before and how you dealt with it.
So I'd have to say one challenge or conflict I faced before is last February. Actually, my family and I were faced with a super large family tragedy, and we faced a pretty big family loss this last semester. And so I think one of the hardest things was being able to take that loss and come together as a family and be able to just get back to our normal lives. That was the biggest challenge, was just going on after this person has gone, and coming back to life, coming back to school, and just trying to find your new normal. I think that my family and I overcame this challenge by really coming together, investing in yourself, investing in loved ones, and really taking every day like it's your last, living every minute of how that person would want you to live it, knowing that even though they're not here, they're watching over you, and just kind of living your best life as best you can for as long as you got. That's really how we overcame that challenge.
All right. Awesome. And would you consider yourself a detail-oriented person or a big picture person?
I would say a little bit of both. I think it takes those little details to make the bigger picture. I think in order to see the bigger picture, you have to be able to, get the little details oriented in order to make sure that that bigger picture is, much clearer. I think that, it's, of course, they taught you it's the small things that matter, and I think the small things, bigger things. So I guess, I think they go hand in hand. I don't think you can have one necessarily without the other. But I guess if I had to put myself into a category, I think it would be the bigger picture type person. I think most of the time with my goals and the way I orient myself, I always look at the bigger picture, like how I'm graduating, where I'm going to be, what I want to do, that kind of thing. So to answer your question, I would definitely have to say picture, because I think that might be the most important thing to keep you, headed on your goals and keep you on the right path.
All right. And lastly, describe a time when you were part of a group and you had a difficult leader and how you dealt with that.
So I would definitely have to say this last summer I worked at a golf course. And, when you're working at a golf course, you got to be out there to have the greens mowed by 5 a.m. before first tee. And our manager, our boss, was just kind of a really big, kind of I wouldn't necessarily say Hitler, but he was a very tough manager. And, 4 or 5 a.m. in the morning, he's yelling, screaming at everybody to get their job done. And I don't really think he took his power wisely. He kind of used it more as a dictatorship. He said we were a team supposed to accomplish all our tasks as a team, and he really didn't exercise that. Kind of more just very hard and just rigid person in general. And it just really caused a bunch of discord amongst the team and really just caused a lot of things that did not work at all. And so I think that was probably one of the hardest times I've ever had to work with a team with a difficult manager.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And next, we're interviewing Dalian. Dalian, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. What would you say is your favorite time of the day and why?
Honestly, I would say that my favorite time of the day is night, just because I tend to be more productive at night. I can be an early person. When I wake up in the morning, I'll be fine, and I can operate fine throughout the day. But I'm most energized at the nighttime just because I'm a night owl, and that's how I've always been. My mom was a night owl. My dad's a night owl. So it's kind of, how my family as a whole just grew up. So I'm just used to being most productive, getting most of my assignments done in the wake of the night and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Awesome. Are you a leader or a follower, and why?
I would say that I'm a little bit of both, and I feel like everyone needs to be a nice balance of both. In order to be a successful leader, you need to make sure that you know how to follow too. So you know that in a given situation, some people have the right ideas, and those ideas might differ from what your ideas are, and you should follow other people in those instances. But there's also times where you need to stand your ground and hold true to your own ideas, because you might be right in the given situation. So you need to have a nice balance of both in order to be successful in life, in my opinion.
And what's the time that
I think you can hear it here.
Assert yourself, like you said?
A time that I would say that you should assert yourself is when, for example, you're at work and your manager asks you to do certain tasks, and you in your mind you're thinking, oh, well, maybe this task might be well first. So you might suggest that task first before the previous task in order to get the shift, things done for the shift that you need to do more efficiently. And your manager might agree. That's what I did in order to get my promotion at my job. So I think it works out.
Awesome. Absolutely. And final question. In your opinion, what is success, and what does it take to be successful in society? Do you want me to repeat that?
No, it's okay. I got it. Success can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. For some people, it's little things like making sure to smile at a random stranger a day, or making sure that you turn in your assignment could be a success because you had a busy day. Or success can mean making a whole bunch of money, because that's what I think mainstream society believes success is. What I think it takes to be successful is just to have grit and persevere through all challenges in your life. We have a lot of obstacles that we face on a daily basis, and it's about how we overcome those obstacles, no matter how small or big, that define how we're going to do in life. So in order to be successful, you need to just make sure that you're persevering through those boundaries and pushing them.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Thank you. Awesome. So I'm going to be interviewing Stephanie.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Okay.
Sorry, it's loading.
You guys are so cheery. I'm just not up.
The school Wi-Fi is so slow, guys. This is great. I could show you. See, look, it's trying. Okay, there we are. All right, Stephanie. What is one of your most defining moments in your life?
Probably deciding to go to school when you're over 50. That was pretty defining. I've been in the medical field for several years, like 20 some odd years, and decided to become a hospice nurse. And so all of a sudden it was like I got to tell my husband, hey, guess what happened? I think I need to do this. And he was all on board, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, that was a pretty big defining moment. My kids were raised, have grandkids, and wow, all of a sudden I'm going to go to school. And I don't even like school. So that was kind of difficult.
How would you say the transition from not going to school to going back into school has helped?
Honestly, it's been very interesting. I have to say there are a lot of things that I would not have done. This class for sure would never have taken place in my life. My art class, I found it really, really neat, which I never would have thought anything like that. I ride Harley by choice, so unfortunately, it's taken a lot of time from riding and camping. It's been a lot of learning things that I probably never would have been able to share with somebody.
Awesome. So why did you choose to attend Colorado Mesa University?
I am from Colburn, so it was close. And quite honestly, basically being close was one, but it was also, my first choice was Colorado Christian, and it was quite expensive. They are almost double for their nursing program than we are. And Mesa University has an awesome nursing program, and I'm trying to, what's the word, as far as by in the community, things like that, they really look, I don't know what word I'm looking for, but they look upon the nursing program through Mesa University as a very good program. There's the bottom line. So it was a good choice.
That's awesome. And lastly, how would you handle working with someone that you don't necessarily see eye to eye with?
That kind of happens a lot. You just do the best. You do the best you can do. You're always friendly to that person, because if you're not, it just makes your life miserable too. I would say you have to stay professional, and it certainly depends on why don't you get along, and what's the input for that, and what's happened in the past to make that quite possibly be the problem, and get to the bottom of that and fix that, and maybe then it won't be a problem any longer either. So I think there's a little bit more to it than just a black and white question. There could be some gray areas that had some input into it, but professionalism across the board and doing your job. You're there for a job. Of course, in my field, you're there for generally another person or people. So you do for them and forget about what's on the back burner.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now you're going to interview Travis.
Travis. Okay, and let's see if mine will load.
Hopefully faster.
Faster. We'll see. Or not. Aha. Okay, are you ready?
Ready.
All right. If you could make a meal for anyone, living or dead, who would you choose and what would you make?
Wow. All right.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That was interesting.
Yeah, that's much different than the topic of other questions. I think if I could make a meal for anyone, it would actually be for my mom. She's still with us today. I mean, actually, I'm going home tomorrow. I'm flying home back to California. But I think just through the 21 years that I've been alive, I just have nothing but wonderful things to say about her and what both her and my dad have done for me throughout my entire life, from sports just to schooling, just to everyday general life. I think she would be the one I would make it for. And in terms of what I would make, I actually think she's Hispanic by nature, so I think I would do some sort of, I'd like to collaborate with my grandma and have come up with a Mexican-inspired dish to try and something a little bit out of the ordinary for the both of us.
Oh, that's nice. Being a mom, I like that one. Okay, where are you from in California?
I am probably 20 minutes north of Sacramento.
Oh, okay. So are those fires near you then?
They're about 2.5 hours away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
So the next one, this one's more on our line. How would you handle conflict with your colleagues?
Conflict with my colleagues, because they're colleagues, I just assume it's in a job force or kind of a purpose designated area. I actually think you just have to kind of look at the big picture, because it's not a personal life. You don't have to worry about necessarily like delving into their personal beliefs and feelings. I think you just have to be respectful to both parties. At the end of the day, you're just work colleagues. I think everyone can be a little bit more respectful and, for lack of a better word, tolerant for other people's ideals and behaviors. Because if we are nasty in the workplace, all that's going to do is just create more problems. At the end of the day, I think we need to realize that we have a specific purpose and a job that needs to be done. And whatever the best way to go about that would be, I think you just need to remain cordial and just work towards a common goal.
Good. Lovely. All right. So what do you wish to gain from college besides a degree?
As similarly mentioned earlier in this interview, I'm actually the first kind of my immediate family to go to college. Neither of my parents went. My dad went to a little bit of community college, and my mom went straight into the workforce after high school. So not only am I kind of doing this for myself, but I'm also kind of in a way doing it for them. I'm hoping to gain experience in my job field. I'm currently a construction management major. I have 2 semesters left to go, so almost there. I think in the construction field specifically, experience pays dividends. All too often you kind of hear stories of people who come out with degrees but don't really know kind of heads from tails. So luckily in our program we do a lot of real life scenarios and projects and stuff. So the main one I think I would be looking forward to is the experience and the practice and the knowledge without actually having to leave the classroom.
Excellent. Then we have one final one for you, and it is, do you work well with others?
I would say yes, very well. I've had some difficult roommates in the past, but when you're living together with someone, it doesn't help whatsoever to try and be mean or inconsiderate towards them, because I mean they live with you, they see you every morning, every night. So I think that the end of the day, I think I can always kind of put aside small differences and then kind of look towards the big picture and what's going on, and knowing that you may be only with them for a certain amount of time, or who knows, maybe you put aside some differences and figure out something that you never knew about this individual, and that can kind of shift your relationship or how you view that relationship to kind of turn it into a negative, into a positive. I think I'm very easy to get along with. I like making kind of small, subtle connections with people that we can kind of create a foundation for that could lead to larger friendships.
That was your last question.
Thank you very much. So that will conclude our group interview. Thank you guys all very much, and we will maybe meet again in the future.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much for hosting.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
So yeah.